All right, so we are going to jump straight into the full interview, and a lot of these questions I think are going to be thinkers too, but in a different. These will be thinkers that I know you've thought about because I've watched a lot of your stuff, and so one thing that I saw that was kind of interesting, or that I've picked up on. I grew up Mormon, and there's when I'm helping a person with their deconversion, it's clear that that community and even the ritualistic going to church every Sunday and stuff, that those are things that are hard for them to let go of. And so oftentimes with Mormons, ex-Mormons, you have to find a replacement for that. Is that something that is true too of Black communities who church is very important to? And if so, what should that replacement look like? What should, on the secular organization side, what should we be creating as a replacement for church or other rituals?
Well, what was interesting about our conception about for creating Black non-believers in that community is that, for us, the Black community outside of church is very lively. We like to, we do like to hang out. There's a lot more that many believers and non-believers have in common,
Sure.
especially as our thoughts towards what's happening in the United States, the state of the Black community.
Right.
But we wanted to put more of the Black community into Black non-believers,
Right.
and also into the secular community, because many of us have the community needed to look like those who I guess people didn't think we existed. So it's like, isn't necessarily ritualistic as far as church. We get together, we have meetings, there isn't necessarily any singing or it doesn't have to be as frequent.
Right.
But also the things we like to do. Many of us, when I go to functions, I like to sing. I do like to sing. I like to dance. I'm a hip hop fan, a huge hip hop fan. Definitely old school. I'm a Tribe fan to the day I die.
Oh yeah.
So
very cool.
Injecting that flavor, if you will, that so many secular organizations lacked, is what Black non-believers also sought to do, was to show that not only do other Black atheists exist, but we are products of our community, and we bring that with us.
Sure.
And it's normalizing that part of us. So we weren't trying to reinvent any wheels.
Yeah.
It's just taking what's already there and showing folks that, the religious do not have the monopoly on fellowship and getting together.
Right.
And pretty much everything that they do is secular anyway.
Right.
But it's how they do it. It's the premise of why they do it as well that is different. And so that's what we sought to do at Black non-believers. Yes. Okay. Finding and drawing out those Black atheists who were already there. They didn't realize that there were other Black atheists out there, which is still a thing. It is still very, very common for people to remark that they thought they were the only ones. And granted, that tends to be pretty common. And we did want to build that community, but nothing, mostly based on, definitely getting together, featuring, guest speakers and stuff. So it is sort of ritualistic, but not to the point where people have to, are obligated to have to come. So
and give us 10% of your stuff.
Exactly. I mean, of course, all of our organizations need money to run, just to put that out there.
Sure.
But but we really wanted to show that many of us just aren't like coming out of the dust, if you will. Many of our experiences can be painful, but we also have lively experiences, and that we're bringing something to the community that is starting to change, but something that is still lacking, which is more of the social engagement and what people engage on. The science and the science, the skepticism, the information, education is one part. But many of us are music lovers. Many of us have so many other things in common more than that. And so being able to reach that everyday atheist, people who may not necessarily have found the community, through, or who have let go of religion through extensive research. Just understanding that, look, this stuff doesn't make sense. That's it. I would like to find others who can relate.
Be around them.
So yes,
I've talked about it too, like the number of events when you go to like your local atheist chapters page, and it's like, okay, on this week, we're going to hear some white guy talk about science. Next week, we're going to hear some white guy talk about science. You could do something other than just white dudes talking about science. We can have a dance. Atheists aren't Mormons. Yes. They can dance. I like to attack Mormons for dancing. I don't know if you've ever been to a Mormon dance, but
I have not.
Besides having to be a foot apart,
oh gosh.
Yeah, it's funny. You would think because a lot of Mormons are raised on the piano as well. I mean, that's a pretty common thing that Mormon kids do. And you would think they would have some rhythm with the fact that they have to have that metronome on their piano every day, but none whatsoever. Anyway, so it sounds like more of a variety of things to do and ways to meet and socialize would be helpful in all over for atheists as far as trying to go after a more diverse community as opposed to, another science lecture every single time.
Yes.
I'm so bored of them. And there's only like 10 lectures, and everyone's just repeating the same 10 lectures.
Yes. And that's another thing. It's like for those who are outside of the community, and for people who the misconceptions about atheism and that, how evil we are and stuff, like, you would be so disappointed to know that. We even other atheists complain about how boring some of the events can be.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, no, this needs to change. It really does.
We're going to liven things up with a book club. That was something that happened locally. Oh my God. Anyway,
yeah.
oh my goodness.